because it takes so long to cook pasta, I did cook all the pasta ahead of time. So we've got some angel hair here, which is just regular angel hair pasta. Before I put it in the boiling water, I did break it up because it would be easier to handle. To get started on this recipe, we're going to melt some butter, 1/4 of a stick of butter, which is 1/4 of a cup. And let's see, we're going to do some green onions, some garlic, and some sliced mushrooms. And this is just 6 green onions. They have already been washed. And you can make these as fine as, what? Oh, I thought somebody said something. So we've got some different tastes going on. This is a good sauce, just like I said, it's kind of an Alfredo. I chose to use ham with it. You could use turkey and ham. You can use just turkey. You can use if you have anything when you buy a rotisserie chicken. There's another idea of what to do with the second day on a rotisserie chicken if you have that. And then you can, after your family's eaten all the nice white meat, that's when you can pull off all the stuff that doesn't look so good and then put it in this. They'll never know. So I've got our green onions in there. Our butter's melting. Heating up. This will take a few minutes. So I've got the mushrooms already sliced. I think this is a wonderful product. I think it's so hard to slice mushrooms. I mean, if you want to take the time and you feel like you're doing more for your family by slicing mushrooms, go ahead. Now this is a nice, rich, sort of stick to your ribs type thing. Could you use skim milk? We're going to use half and half. Maybe it wouldn't be quite as thick. You could use, I guess you could use margarine. This might be one of the things that you don't do every night, but you do once in a while when you want something that's really creamy and thick and wonderful. Okay, this is 3 teaspoons of minced garlic. And as always, when we cook the garlic, we want to be real careful that we don't burn it. That'll make it bitter. I think we're going to go ahead and put our mushrooms in. Now you can, if you feel the need to, these are, some big pieces. If you wanted to chop them up to be smaller sizes, that's fine. They do shrink down as the water releases in them. All right, we're going to cook that for a little bit. And as this cooks down a little bit, we're going to put some flour, and that's just as a thickening. And then this is if you didn't have the Easter dinner and have the big ham and have this left over, you can go down the meat department along the wall and buy already diced ham. If you have leftover ham, by all means use it in this. But if you have just a desire to have this dish and you don't have ham, you don't want to use chicken or turkey, then there you go. You don't have to buy a whole ham and cook it. This works out to be about 2 cups. The way they have it vacuum sealed, it looks like it's not very much, but as it poofs out and gets air in it, it's just the right amount. All right, this is coming along nicely. I think we'll go ahead and try to put the flour in. And like I said, you're going to use the flour as a thickener and as a basis for your sauce. I said to whisk this in. It's a little bit hard to whisk in with all these lumps. So we're going to just stir it. And it is going to make this kind of thick, you'll see, and gloppy until we start adding the half and half. Just keep stirring it up, and the stuff that gets stuck, as you see on the bottom of the flour, how it's getting stuck on the bottom of the pan, it'll release when we get the half and half in there. So even though it kind of seems gloppy, this is right. You just want to kind of melt all the flour. And this is kind of a little fake way to do a roux. If we were doing a roux to make this sauce, we would go ahead and just put the butter in, then the flour. But this is a little bit easier. We've got everything going on together. You're just taking minus a step. And this is only 2 cups, by the way. I already took 2 out. And you want to kind of add this slow, so we're pulling the stuff off of the bottom that's kind of stuck on there and keeping it so you're not cooling everything down. If you wanted to heat the half and half, you could, just to keep the same temperature, because of course when you pour it in here, it's going to cool your mixture down a little bit. That's why we want to add it gradually so it still keeps thick. I don't know if you can see that, it's nice and thick. I'm slopping this all over. Okay. And then we're going to put in our salt and pepper. Just a half a teaspoon of each. Achoo. So we're just going to let this thicken just a little bit more. Looks like it's bubbling a little bit. Okay, there's your ham. And like I said, you can use turkey, you can use leftover chicken, whatever you have on hand. I don't think I'd use ground beef. I think that'd be kind of, I don't think I'd use ground beef or any kind of beef products because I think that would look kind of yucky. All right, we'll add the angel hair. What's gonna really make it good? I think we need some cheese. So I've got 2 cups of sharp cheese here, which we're gonna add in here. Two cups. And we're going to add a 1/4 cup of parmesan. I like this. When I make the recipes and I say shredded, or your recipes in your book say shredded, it's like this rather than in the jar. Okay, put that in there, and put that in our baking dish. And this is just to kind of firm it up a little bit and make sure everything's really hot and kind of together, because it really would be if you got really hungry. You could eat it now. All right, we'll top it off with a little more Parmesan and get it in the oven. Okay, so beautiful. We're going to get that in the oven. Okay. Ooh, there's our ham tetrazzini.